What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be working on the Jeep again. So I've got this front axle, that rear axle, both on the passenger side, that are bent. So the rear one, I'll prop that up and I'll show you what it means. But it's got a good little wobble in it, and I'm trying to figure out why I waited so long, but I'm going to replace that axle shaft in the rear. And then the front had the U-joint blowout, and then I went ahead and just swapped the U-joint, but all the dog ears on both axles shafts in the front were bent. You could see light through one of the straps around one of the U-joint caps. So I went ahead and ordered a new shaft with a new U-joint and inner and outer for the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. Hood's up because I was leaking coolant, but I stopped leaking coolant. So now I'm not leaking coolant anymore. That's how that works, 100%, without question. That's how that works. Anyway, let's get started working on the old girl. First step, I'm gonna jack up the back of the Jeep and get that squared away so I can start pulling a tire off. Take a look at this tire. We'll line you up nice and clear. And hopefully you can see as it spins, it is not spinning straight. So we're gonna get this thing taken care of and get the wobble out of it. Gears sound a little noisy too. I'll check and make sure I got enough fluid in that. For replacing this axle, it's not a whole heck of a lot. There's 4 bolts on the axle. It's housing, and then the shaft comes out. You just have to get all the other stuff out of the way first. So first step for me is always getting the brakes off, getting the both the caliper and the rotor off, and then from there I go ahead and start getting rid of, there's a plug here that needs to be removed so you don't crack it when you're doing stuff, and then we'll be after the rest of it. That's nice. I'll probably be doing pads, I guess, because I broke the ear off at some point. So this side has the ear broken off. That's what it should look like. So we'll see it. They're not super bad, but they're not super great right now. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. So this is how it should look. 2 ears, and this is how this one looks because the ear got broken off. Before I go any further on taking apart this Jeep, I'm gonna go ahead and see about the axle itself. Make sure the thing that I bought is the right thing. I have a front axle and a rear axle in boxes here. Try to make sure I open the right one without collapsing the tower of family stuff that was put on top of it. I've been putting this off for a little while because whenever you have a repair you can do on a Jeep that is still working, you always kind of feel like you could wait a little bit longer. It's not a great idea, but it is a thing that I do as a human person. So I'm gonna get this pulled out and we'll get it unboxed and make sure that it's the right piece for what we're doing today. In retrospect, I should have had this opened and checked before I started anything, but here we are. Cool. That's everything I hoped it would be. So, this is a complete axle shaft with everything needed at all. So it has the ABS rings, has a full set of bearings, which turn, I hope. Yep, they turn. And it has the mounting plate. So all you gotta do, pop the old one off, pop the new one on, and we're good to go. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pop the sensor off of the ABS ring here. And it's just a magnetic sensor. Hopefully, if I unbolt it, the whole thing will pull out and I won't have to unplug it, because the last side, or the other side I did, the plug got cracked and didn't want to go back together, and I don't want to do that again. These bolts, all 4 of them, are 18s, which I knew right out the gate. I was aware completely, without question, from the start. Last time I was able, that's just a box falling over, don't worry about that. Last time I did this, I was able to keep the brake system as a whole and just undo the emergency brake cable. I'm gonna try and do that again. But that was easiest done when the actual brake, I don't know what you'd call that, platform space here, was plate's probably the right word, was loose, because then I could just disconnect the emergency brake cable. So we'll do that next and see how that goes. Now I have replaced the driver's side already. So for me, I'm gonna keep both the driver's side and the passenger side as spares because they are apparently 2 different lengths. I'm not sure how far off they are as far as differences, but I'll show you guys once I have the 2 original ones side by side, and I have I guess they'll both be bent, but we'll see how close they are in actual size at that point. Now we're at the fun spot where I should be able to pull this out. Unfortunately, most of the time these get a little bit put together. So what I tend to do is take the tools I am given and do my best to make them work. So I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall this brake disc and this rotor, if you will. Do a quick ugga-dugga to get that tied in. Now I should be able to use this to break the axle free. Sometimes you can just get a good pull on it. But other times it takes a little bit of persuasion. You can see bearing, race, axle, all that stuff's gonna come on out before it gets too far. I'm gonna throw a rag underneath of it because it is leaking just a little bit of fluid, because I I'm a dummy. Normally, I would set this up to angle the other way. And I forgot to do that. I knew I forgot something. Now everything should drain towards the pumpkin instead of away. Out with the old. Oh man. Getting a lot of gear oil over here. Let's see if we can see how bent it is. Not super bad, but I think you can see in the video that if I turn it this way, it leans that way. And if I turn it further, it leans the other way. So, notably not ideal. You can see that's bent now. You can see how this is a straight axle. This one is leaning that direction a little bit. So I will pop this bad mamma jamma in and we'll repeat the opposite of removal. At this point, everything's back together. Just gotta put the tire on, drive it, and we're good to go. Real quick, just because we talked about it a minute ago, I want to show you guys the difference between the two heights on the axle shafts. All right, so they're both sitting flat on the ground. They're both slightly bent, but if you look at them, get down even, you can see how vastly different the heights are. The passenger side is the taller one, this guy. The driver's side is the shorter one. They're both fairly thick. They're both pretty good. Neither of them are true or straight in any capacity. But with my new setup, I will be good to go. So coming up next, I'm gonna pop out the new axle shaft, U-joint and short shaft from there and put it on the front of the Jeep. But that might have to wait till another day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe if it suits you. Wish me luck. I got a lot more Jeep stuff to do. If you liked watching this, or if you're interested in any of this content, please don't forget to hit the like, hit the comment, hit the subscribe button, and if more Jeep content is interesting to you, just let me know. Hopefully we can get something going soon.